The nominations for the 70th Emmy Awards have been announced. Samira Wiley from The Handmaid's Tale and Ryan Eggold from Blacklist announced the lucky ones from Wolf Theater in Hollywood.
The nominees highlights TV's best. So without further ado, let's bring in Lauren Zima. She is a host and producer for Entertainment Tonight Online. She is joining us from Los Angeles. And Krutika, Mallikarjuna, the features editor at TV Guide, is with us here on set. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, so let's start with you, Lauren. Game of Thrones, which is my #1 show, scored 22 nominations. I mean, what can we expect from this show on award night? I always feel with Game of Thrones that it gets so many noms and then it doesn't win as many because people are just like, this is a show oversaturating the awards.
Right. Well, this is an interesting year because Game of Thrones, due to the timing of its most recent season, was not at the Emmys last year. So this year it's back, which I think means it could get a little love. But we did see that both Kit Harington and Emilia Clarke were shut out of any acting nominations. Some people thought that they might get some love because they had so much screen time in the most recent season. So we'll see how Game of Thrones does. I agree with you. It's such a favorite. Who's not obsessed? Did I watch the entire series again in a week and not sleep at all? Yes, I did. Was I talking to dragons in my head? Yes, I was. So we'll see what happens. I think that in the end, the show could get the most love after its final season.
I tell you who's not obsessed by it, Anne-Marie Green.
I know. Well, I was late to the party, and then when I looked into it, I realized I would have to take a week off just to catch up, and so I just thought, I'm not doing it.
And then you have to read the books, but that's for another segment.
Yeah, I need a whole other life, other than the life that I'm living, to do all of that. But let us talk about something other than Game of Thrones, if you don't mind. So, Krutika, any surprises in the list of noms that we've seen so far?
Definitely. I mean, I think the one I was most excited to see on the list was Ted Danson for The Good Place.
Yes.
I mean,
which
Vlad,
you turned me on to.
I know, Vlad. I gave Vlad like a 20-minute spiel the other day about why he needs to watch The Good Place.
Right.
And to see that show recognized after, you know, such an amazing 2 seasons, and, you know, it's a critical darling, and Ted Danson especially, just a veteran of the field, like really getting his due.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Yeah, yeah. So wait.
Well, so I mean, I was very surprised to see Ted Danson on there.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see Larry David, William H. Macy, Anthony Anderson, Bill Hader, or Donald Glover. I think it's Donald Glover's win here, you know, but Bill Hader in Barry, which is a really interesting and funny show, you know, I mean, it could be a dark horse.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful show. And I think the one other surprise was, for me, it was Tatiana Maslany for Orphan Black.
Orphan Black, that was really good too.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's lovely to see her up there.
Yeah.
Lauren, what about you? Any surprises at all?
There were definitely some surprise snubs for me. Mandy Moore was praised so much for This Is Us this past season for that scene where she reacted to, I mean, spoiler alert, but we know, right? Jack's death. And she did not get a nomination this year. I don't think we were too surprised about it, but Roseanne, after such a rise and such a fall, did not see any love even for the cast or anything like that. So some surprise snubs. I also thought Will and Grace, they did not get any acting love, no Best Comedy nomination either.
You know, I'm also surprised by this. Matthew Rhys is nominated for lead actor in a drama series for The Americans. This last season was amazing. I'm surprised that Kerry Russell isn't nominated, but she hasn't. He's won one. She's never. Has she been nominated before? I don't know, but I'm surprised because I thought her character in this last season was even better than his. I mean, she delivered a tremendous performance. Lauren, what did you think?
She did get a nomination, right? Yeah.
It's not on my list. It's on my list here.
I think we have a limited list here.
Yeah.
They got the longer list.
Lead actress in a comedy series, you have?
In drama for The Americans.
Oh, I was looking. I'm looking at this list. Oh, all right. Well, let's edit that part out because clearly this is out of order. There are no page numbers on my thing.
Well,
Don't worry, your girl is safe.
It is nice to see The Americans get this love for the final season, right? For both of them to get those acting nominations in the show. Yeah, now it's a great Thursday.
Now the Emmys are right.
Can we talk a little bit about John Legend, nominated for lead actor in a limited series or movie, Jesus Christ Superstar?
You saw that.
I saw that. I actually thought it was good. I thought he was good, but I thought, you know, other people were great. I'm not going to take anything away from my man. He's won a lot of awards already. You don't have to win every award, right? But I don't know. What was your take on it?
I mean, I'll be honest, when you're on the path to EGOT, nothing's going to slow you down. So, like, good for John Legend for going for it. But I think I agree with you, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, this is an interesting person to see on this list this year. But, you know, anytime the Emmys, like, the Academy votes outside of what I expect, I always feel like it's a good thing. Like, fresh blood, bring it in.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. EGOT meaning Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tonys. People who are not nerds like us would not know what that actually means.
He'll get there. I just don't know if Jesus Christ Superstar was it.
All right, so let's talk about the comedy series nominees. Atlanta, amazing. Barry, amazing. Blackish, amazing. Curb Your Enthusiasm, one of my personal favorites. Glow, I love.
Yeah.
The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I haven't seen that, so I can't comment.
Amazon.
Silicon Valley, I like. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I also love. This is a very tough category, Krutika.
It is. It is. I mean, I think the thing I'm most excited about in this category is 3 of them are freshman series.
Yes, Glow.
Which is a huge shakeup in this category. Glow, Barry, and Marvelous Miss Maisel. I don't know. This is a really tight race. For me, I think it's probably Atlanta, but I wouldn't be surprised if Marvelous Miss Maisel comes in with a win.
Laura, why isn't Veep in this list? Or is it, and I'm not seeing it?
Right, no, that's the thing. It is such a tight race, and it's such a wide open race because Veep had just locked this category down for years, and it's because Julia Louis-Dreyfus was battling breast cancer, and that put production on hold of the series' most recent and now final season. So it's awesome that the show is getting things going, and that cast has been so supportive of her. Will I miss seeing Julia Louis-Dreyfus at an awards show? Yes, because she always kills it on stage. But it's nice to see, like you said, these freshman series get some love. I think Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a big favorite. But it really opened up both the comedy category and the lead actress in a comedy series category, not having Veep on the table.
Can we talk about Netflix getting more nominations than HBO? I know, like lately, every time we do one of these awards conversations, we talk about the rise of streaming. But I was actually pretty surprised to see that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Lauren, go ahead.
We're both so excited to talk about this. I think it's the first time in 17 years that HBO hasn't had the most nominees. And Netflix's rise has been crazy. I think it's like doubled and tripled each year, its amount of nominees. And they were also pulling so hard for this. They had dozens of events here in LA, for your consideration events for all the Emmy voters. So, Krutika, were you surprised by this? How did you feel?
No. I mean, honestly, it felt like it was only a matter of time. Some of the series I'm seeing, though, are a bit of a surprise to me. Godless, particularly, is the one that I'm surprised to see multiple noms about. I don't know, Lauren, you might beg to differ, but I didn't see a lot of critical buzz around this one.
I was just going to ask you that question.
And even the others, the assassination of Gianni Versace, for me it was a letdown after OJ.
That one's actually on FX.
No, I know we're talking about that, but I'm talking about the limited series, in that category, which I know, it's a Netflix conversation. But it is an interesting category that some of these other shows, even if they are on Netflix and streaming, I don't know, they're not that good.
Yeah, Versace, I would expect to sweep all the limited series categories, though. So brace yourself. Yeah.
Please.
Darren Criss is definitely going to win the Best Actor award.
What?
Okay, so maybe we missed something.
I thought that was not as good as the OJ one.
Hard to compare to that one. It was so stellar.
All right, so the Emmys also made history because Killing Eve, Sandra Oh, with that nomination, it makes her the first Asian woman to earn a nomination for lead actress in a drama. Talk about how significant this is as we all await for Crazy Rich Asians to come out.
Oh, man. I mean, I cannot say enough about Sandra Oh. Sandra Oh is my girl. I stand for her so hard. But honestly, after being nominated for Grey's Anatomy 5 times in the supporting category, it's really lovely to see her finally get her due in a lead role where she's #1 on the call sheet and her name is in the show title. Like, what a glow up. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Laura, what do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this woman has been in this business for such a long time, proving her chops year after year in shows and movies, and so I really hope that she wins this one. And it's also really interesting to see, because we were just talking about shows with buzz or ratings around them. Killing Eve, it airs on BBC America, definitely a critical approval there, but not so much in the ratings. It didn't rate super high, so maybe the show will now get some love now that she's gotten this Emmy nom, and it will attract a new audience, which will be great.
Lauren, before we wrap this discussion up, let's just talk a little bit more about Game of Thrones. Thrones, because the drama series Handmaid's Tale.
You're like, I want to talk about it.
Look, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Handmaid's Tale, Game of Thrones, This Is Us, The Crown, The Americans, Stranger Things, Westworld. I hope this is the right category because I'm looking at it.
Drama series?
Right, drama series. So
That's a tough category
this
too.
This is super, super
I mean,
tough.
everybody that I know that watches any of these they're in love with it. When they're on, that's all they want to do.
Yeah.
Don't call them. But that's for every one of these shows.
I mean, Lauren, this freaks me out a little because I love Game of Thrones. I also love Stranger Things, and I thought The Americans was incredible. Westworld, I was a huge lover last year, not so much this year.
This Is Us. People have been.
I've never watched that actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I know it's the one thing that I know. Don't yell at me. It's the one thing because everybody seems to love it so much that sometimes turns me off. I know it's irrational.
Oh,
but
you don't want to be like, you want to be the cool kid that's like.
Because I
going
could never
against the
be one
grain,
when I was in high school.
Going against the grain.
You know, I wish I could tell you that we're going to ride the dragon to a win for Game of Thrones, but I think we have to look at timing here because the most recent season of Game of Thrones, it has been a minute since we were actually watching that. Handmaid's Tale just came out in a matter of, the most recent months. I think it was very fresh on voters' minds. It had won so much recently as well. And again, Game of Thrones has that final season coming up, so I think sometimes people hold off on their votes thinking, oh, I'll reward next year for a big finish for the show.
The strategy, the politics.
Yes, indeed. Krutika, Mallikarjuna, and Lauren Zima. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you, guys. Go binge. Go binge. Such a tight race
I know,
this year.
Anne-Marie,
It's so exciting.
I'm going to get on it.
When I look at through and I start saying, oh, I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this. Clearly, you must think I have all the time in the world.
Yeah, I do.
Don't.
Yeah, no, and I'm jealous, so I'm gonna get on
She's
it.
like, that doesn't work.
I
he
often
just watches TV all
I
day
often
long.
fake my way through these conversations because I only watch cartoons now.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.